this project, you'll need canvas, chopsticks, machine thread, and embroidery floss or twine. When you're sketching out the dimensions of your banner, it should be slightly narrower than your chopstick, and the length is up to you, but I made mine 25 centimeters long. Next, mark the midpoint between your two lines. Make one more mark slightly lower. Connect this lower dot with your side markings. This will make your banner or bookmark shape. You can remeasure and fix any wonky sides. Tuck your chopstick under the top fold to measure where you'll need to sew this channel so that the chopstick will fit comfortably inside, and mark this with a pen. Initially, I was just going to hand sew the banner because my sewing machine is on the fritz. I even got my sewing needle already, but on second thought, I decided to risk it. To hem the sides, just fold over and sew with a straight stitch. When it comes time to sew the top channel, fold the canvas over and match the bottom edge with your markings. When you're finished, it should look something like this. You can slide your chopstick inside just to make sure that it still fits. If you wanted to personalize this even more, you could sew some pom-pom trim or tassels along the sides, or you could use fabric paint to make polka dots or stripes on the canvas. Now it's time to create the string you'll use to hang up your pin banner. I decided to use 2 strands of embroidery floss in complementary colors to make it a little bit stronger. I actually wasn't convinced that this would work at all, but the pin banner has been hanging up on my shelf for a month, and the thread still hasn't broken, so I think we're good. First, you'll need to measure how long to cut your embroidery floss. I did this by mimicking how I'll later glue it in place, wrapping it around one chopstick end, a bit of slack so it can hang comfortably, and around the other end, before cutting it and measuring the length. Mine ended up being 110 centimeters, though as you'll see at the end, I ended up needing to trim a little bit off the end, so I don't think you actually need quite that much. Next, measure the same length for your second color, and twist the entire lengths around each other. Hot glue time! Put a dot of glue on the chopstick and secure the end in place. When you finish wrapping the string around one end, put another dot of glue to secure it. And do the same on the other side. If this type of pin banner is a little too basic bitch for you, you can also make other shapes. Start by creating a tab at the top of your shape that will later be folded over. Make it slightly shorter than your chopstick, and about 4 or 5 times as wide, although I just eyeballed it. Again, you'll need to mark the middle of your tab so that your shape will be centered. I'm sure there's a much more mathematically sound way of making a symmetrically diamond shape, but you're here for a crafting tutorial, not a geometry lesson, alright? Don't judge me. You'll need to fold that top tab over so the chopstick fits inside, and just like before, mark the line on the canvas. From here, it's pretty much the same as the first banner. Hem the edges and sew the tab down. The only difference is this time I decided to use twine instead of embroidery floss. I really wanted that diamond shape to pop out a bit more obviously, so I traced out the inner lines and filled them in with white fabric paint. I wouldn't recommend painting too much on the canvas, since it'll make popping the pin through the material a bit tricky, but there are lots of fun options for simple line work or patterns if you want to try it. It's finally time to put these banners to work! For the last few years, I've been keeping my enamel pins on this bag with a clear casing. I had dreams of wearing it to SHRINee events, but the reality is that these pins add so much weight that even when the bag is empty, it's a bit much to lug around. It's finally time to give these pins a new home. This is a full set of Story of Light era pins. SM had them in a gumball machine at the DDP store, so I spent an entire afternoon feeding change into the machine until I had one full set for me and another for niw. If you're wondering why I have a few unopened ones, I started just chucking them into the bag because I was too lazy to put the bag down and put them on properly. These are the pins from their Japanese From Now On concerts. I bought this set of 10, but it was actually a random pull, so we spent about 20 minutes outside the merch queue exchanging pins with other fans until we had the full set. Half of the pins actually came with a length of chain attached, which I thought was a really cool design choice. You could leave the chain dangling or connect the pins by sliding the jump ring from one pin onto the next before putting it on the banner. And now for some satisfying pin banner assembly footage. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you decide to make your own pin banner, make sure to tag us on our socials.